Good morning. And so I say to you, you are Peter. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. I'd like to begin my homily this morning with a story and perhaps a little humor. St. Peter is at the gates of heaven. He's been standing all morning and he needs a lunch break. He sees Jesus walking by and he stops him. Jesus, thank goodness you're here. I have a favor to ask you. Can you watch the gate while I have lunch? Jesus, ecstatic that he has the chance to help, says, of course, what do you want me to do? It's simple, Peter says. As people come forward, you must check to see if their names are written in the book. If they are, then welcome them in. And if not, turn them away. And with that, Peter leaves for lunch. Jesus waits for some time, and eventually an elderly man walks up to him. Jesus greets him energetically and asks his name. The old man looks dismayed. I was hit in the head when I died, so I don't remember my name. Well, sir, Jesus said, tell me about yourself. Perhaps I can help you figure it out. Oh boy, the old man thought to himself out loud. All I can remember is that I was a carpenter, and my son was beloved by many, many millions of people. Now Jesus steps back. He begins to choke up a little bit. Dad? Dad? The old man looks hard at Jesus and says, Pinocchio? And now a little interesting information for you. A popular image was that of St. Peter standing outside the pearly gates, deciding whether or not a particular person is allowed into heaven. This popular image is derived from today's Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus tells Peter, I will give you the keys of the kingdom, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. In its original context, this has to do with Peter being the leader of the early church, the kingdom of heaven on earth in Jesus' absence. It does not indicate that he will literally be the gatekeeper of heaven, but that is an understandable extension of the idea. Thus, the many stories and a few jokes about Peter at the gates of heaven. So who was this Peter? The one who said to Jesus, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, whom Jesus said to him in reply, blessed are you, son of Jonah, and upon this rock I will build my church. This Peter was just like you and I, imperfect in many ways. He was a simple fisherman. He was neither wealthy nor highly educated. He was headstrong, doubtful, confused, impulsive, a human. Peter doesn't understand the parable of the 4 soils. He is confused. Peter and the others try to keep children and babies away from Jesus. Peter fails to continue to walk on the water toward Jesus. Peter, filled with selfish ambition, argues with the other disciples about which one is the greatest. Peter resists Jesus when he says, no, you will never wash my feet. And Peter denies Jesus 3 times in public. And yet, with all of Peter's shortcomings and failures, Jesus sees the best in him. God used a person like St. Peter for greatness. Peter was just an ordinary man. He had doubts just like we do. He stumbled just like we do. If God used a man like him, it makes me think that God can use my life and your life for greatness too. Jesus did not look at Peter's inadequacies. No, he looked into his heart. When Christ, at the symbolic moment, was establishing his great society, he chose for its cornerstone not Paul, not the brilliant Paul, or the mystic John, but he chose a sinner, a snob, a coward, in a word, a man, Peter. And upon this rock, Jesus has built his church. We, you, all of you, and I, we today are that church, are his church. And so I challenge you this day, I challenge you this week, when you pick up your keys to the kingdom, be it the keys to your house or your car or your office, when you take charge of something or someone this week, when you are about to do something that is very difficult this week, or perhaps something utterly amazing this week, think and ask yourself, are these things part of God's kingdom? Is he choosing me today